Ever been to Searcy? Or have you just passed it by going to Jonesboro? We need to stop. Culinary treats from really around the world. Great college square, great college campus, I should say, great courthouse square, and there's a mayor dedicated to making Searcy even more. Join us as we travel northeast on Interstate 57 to Searcy. We promise you, there's something here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Kevin.
Good to see you.
Ben, how's it going back there? He's
Living right, doing good things.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Still, I'm a little slow on the board today, but I'm getting there.
Well, we headed to Searcy, but before we start, we are Monday after Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say hello to all the mothers out there, all the
Yeah.
great mothers. I got a couple questions for you, Ben, Kevin. What did you do
Are
yesterday?
you throwing me a curveball already?
I sure am.
Out of the gate,
Talk
curveball.
about your mom.
Man.
What did you do for Mother's Day, Kevin?
I did call my mom at 8 o'clock Pacific time, at 10 o'clock her time. We were in Sonoma with my wife. My wife and I were in Sonoma for the weekend. And so she was enjoying that. That was kind of her Mother's Day thing. But yeah, called my mom and said hello and talked a little bit to her. I hadn't talked to her in a while, so that was nice.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Ben, what about you?
So I recently moved, and we've been in our new house, kind of getting it all set up. And for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to host this giant Mother's Day brunch. And I have a bunch of projects that were unfinished. So my gift to my wife for Mother's Day was a very stressful weekend of finishing up all the projects. And then but it all came together, and we had a great Mother's Day brunch. Everyone came over at the new place, but it was trials getting there, but we made it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think John is setting this all up. Like, you must have done something amazing for Mother's Day. What'd you do, John?
I didn't take my wife to California.
Okay, wow.
I mean,
Winner.
so I can't beat that. But I did dive into the culinary arts.
Yes.
I had a French toast recipe that I got from the New York Times, a la the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and I tried it out. I didn't.
You were like, here's this French toast recipe, Zara.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and then
now listen.
you made, because Zara's an unbelievable cook,
Yeah.
as everyone knows. So you just found the recipe, is what you're saying.
I bought the ingredients too, Kevin. No,
You-
no, I made it. And a quick shout out to Boulevard Bread. I got brioche from Boulevard Bread Company, and that's fantastic bread.
Yeah.
And I made a French toast sort of end-up casserole, and then I cooked some bacon, some eggs. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice. And my mom was in town for the first time in probably 15 years. She was in town.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was nice. It was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Sonoma, but, whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't California. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So we go to Searcy.
Speaking of curveballs, though, we
Yes.
were en route to Searcy.
Well, I was just about to ask, Kevin, when you're heading to Searcy, where's the first place you go when you're heading to Searcy?
you go to Bald Knob.
Go to Bald Knob.
You
Obviously.
overshoot it. You overshoot Searcy by 15 minutes, and you go to Bald Knob, especially when it's strawberry season. I had never been to the Bulldog, and it's something I've been wanting to do. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. This will be a perfect time. And I told you when we were driving there, like when we got in the car, we headed there, and for me, it really lived up to the hype. It was a very simple strawberry shortcake with these biscuits, and it had a soft serve in it as well, which that's something I've never had before.
I agree.
Yeah.
We got the picture of the shortcake as well.
Yeah,
And
look at that. Beautiful.
Looky there.
Woo.
The nuts on top, the strawberries were really, the shortbread was great.
Yeah.
And the soft serve, I didn't expect. I'd heard about the strawberry shortcake at the Bulldog for forever, and it lived up to the hype for sure.
Yeah.
But Kevin or Ben, this is kind of where Kevin and I have rubbed off on each other. So Kevin is typically the one that's like it's got to be done this time, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And we get in the car and we're just really not even at Jacksonville. And he goes, hey, by the way, let's go to Bald Knob first. And I
Yeah.
thought, this is odd.
Yeah.
But it added 10 minutes of extra time basically to our trip because we left a little bit early. But yeah, it was great. I have gone to the Bulldog before, but it's been a long time. I've never gotten the strawberry shortcake, and strawberries really aren't even in season yet. So we're just starting the season, right?
Yeah, it had started, and but the thing that was nice about it is it didn't really mess with our schedule too much
No.
because the Bulldog, you can walk right up. It's almost like a dairy bar where you can walk right up, just order it, and we were there and gone in 10 minutes. So it was. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad from a food writing perspective, it's something I should have done a long time ago. So I'm really happy that I'm finally able to check that box, and we enjoyed it. But we didn't stick around too long. Got back in the car and headed to Searcy.
Searcy. Hey, before we get to Searcy though, Ben, strawberry shortcake. Are you a fan?
You know, I mean, I need to go to the Bulldog and try it out because I haven't had a whole lot of strawberry shortcake, if we're being honest. So maybe I am a fan. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I need guidance.
Well, let me tell you something from a food writer's perspective. There are 2 places in Little Rock, maybe 3. People like Izzy's have never had it there. But Trios is very well known for theirs. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of their strawberry shortcake. I think it's a touch overrated, but people love it, and they sell hundreds and thousands of those in season. But the place for me that I truly love the strawberry shortcake is at the pizzeria. They're very well known for their desserts, and if you had to start, I would start there.
Okay.
Where's the pizzeria?
The pizzeria is in the Heights.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna. I know we're talking about cities, but I gotta start with stop for a second with the strawberry shortcake. Fundamental components of a great strawberry shortcake are.
Well, you gotta have a sponge cake. You gotta have in-season strawberries, and you gotta have made from scratch whipped cream.
There's my wife makes made from scratch whipped cream, and I can't go back.
No, there's no going back.
No.
Yeah, I mean the Cool Whip stuff out of the freezer section is it's garbage.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
it's great in a pinch.
In a pinch,
right?
But we're getting to the age. If you're going to commit the calories to strawberry shortcake, you better do it right.
So I think you can forego the cake a little bit if you put emphasis on the whipped cream. But the strawberries, of course, are the number one thing. They have to be.
I got to tell you, now that we did the Bulldog and this soft serve, I'm kind of on board with that as well. I mean, you can't beat soft serve with strawberry. I mean, that vanilla ice cream, come on. That's,
fair point.
Yeah, it's great. So
fair point.
A lot of people are traditionalists, but whatever. If it's good, it's good. And the Bulldog was excellent. And so, but yeah, I'm glad we were able to do that. And but we headed back 15 minutes down south to Searcy, and we started off at like we usually do.
Yes.
At a coffee shop.
Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil, right across the street from Harding University.
And so I went into Midnight Oil, and I always get a great picture here of the menu because I always go in, and this is on the side, and I went right to the cashier, and I was like, I'd like a medium hot latte. That's what I get every time.
Yep.
And then as he's making it, I looked to my left, and I thought, oh man, there's so much on this menu.
Yeah.
And they had some specials as well. Like this is a legit coffee house in Searcy, in an old house. I thought the world of this place.
Yeah, and we got peanut butter cookie that was pretty solid. It's a real hangout. It's a college hangout coffee shop. I'm sure they do great business. I've probably been there 4 or 5 times through the years, and there's always a steady stream of people inside, and there's people, students studying. We're still in session. Class was still in session, so it was nice to kind of get that college vibe there with that energy with the college students. So it's a great location. It's right. It's in the middle of everything, and the coffee is really good. I don't know who does their beans. I guess I should have made note of that, but I thought the coffee was great.
Yeah, I had a picture of it, and I didn't put it in the slide deck. The one thing about Searcy or the coffee shop that made me realize something about Searcy I'd never really realized is that it is a college town, which is a very different vibe when you're in a college town. And I know we went to Magnolia, but I think we went to Magnolia in the summer.
Yeah.
And there was no college in session, but it was there's a whole different feel of a college town.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons we go to these coffee shops. It gives us a real feel of the town that we're in. And yeah, I forgot about that. I mean, when we were in Magnolia, college wasn't in session. So that's a big thing.
Yeah.
This place, Midnight Oil, reminded me of the place, and now I'm forgetting it, in Batesville, the coffee shop that we started out in Batesville. It had a very similar old house.
Oh yeah, Morningside.
Yeah, that might be
It's
it.
Morningside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
very similar.
yeah, very similar. So yeah, it was a good place to start. It was just you and I. Sometimes we'll meet the mayor there, but that didn't happen. We hung out there for a little bit, and I was super excited. And this is my fault because I wanted to take John to one of my favorite barbecue joints in the whole state of Arkansas, Nightfire Barbecue. Unfortunately, I didn't check the hours of operation until we got to the front door. I'm like, oh, they're closed, and that was kind of. Have you ever been to Nightfire?
No.
I mean, whatever you're thinking is your favorite barbecue, Ben, in the state of Arkansas, Nightfire is up there, and it might beat it. They're kind of known for their biscuit, Texas, or brisket, not biscuit, brisket. They're Texas style barbecue. So the focus is on brisket. They do great ribs, and they actually. I wanted John to try the cheeseburger that day, so I was a little disappointed in them not being open. But next time,
It was a failure, Ben. Let's just call it that.
right off the top.
Yeah, I mean he switches
Failure.
me up to Bulldog, which is good. I give you that one. Then it just completely fell apart. The wheels came off. Speaking of wheels, we missed the picture of the mini car outside of Midnight Oil.
Oh, Ben,
I was wondering how that came in. I thought you guys. I thought that was like your mode of transportation for the day.
So we get out of the
That'd been
car.
awesome,
we
though.
get out of the car. This is in the Midnight Oil parking lot, Ben, and we get out and I see this thing, and I just got to take a picture of it because I've never seen a cart like that. It's it's got the wrapping, protective wrapping on the sides. It's got them double American flags, and I just thought it was really cute. And then of course we see it like 30 minutes later as we're driving around town. And apparently in Searcy, this sucker's street legal. So
Yeah. I cut
Built
it
for speed.
I cut it off later on, and the horn was louder than I thought. No, it didn't. No, but okay, so now barbecue. I would imagine barbecue could be in any town in Arkansas, and it's in Searcy, and you swear by it. And I want to try it. I really want to try the burger because you did hype that up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But as we're going back, we ended up at a diner, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But as we're going back, I see the pho place next door. And then earlier on in our travels together, you had taken me to another Vietnamese restaurant and Filipino restaurant. Yeah.
Wilma's.
So the pho is Vietnamese.
Yeah.
The Wilma's is Filipino, and they got a new building up there now, I think.
Yeah.
And what was really surprising to me about Searcy is all this different food from around the world in Searcy, Arkansas, which I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking our state necessarily, but you don't always see a whole bunch of different, styles of cuisine, and it had it.
Listen, who's the one who suggested Searcy? It was me, and the reason I suggested it is because it really is one of my favorite food towns in Arkansas, which it might surprise people, but I have my favorites there. I try to get to Searcy probably twice a year, which is a good amount for me considering how much of the state I want to cover, and it's for good reason. I wanted to go to Nightfire. We went to Midnight Oil. Our next stop was Chit Chat and Chew, which I had never been, that I've always wanted to go. And then we'll get to a couple other places as we work our way. But like Searcy's got some really good spots. And being only an hour from Little Rock, and I've got a good friend, Matt Cleveland, that lives there, and he's the one who really kind of got me into Searcy as far from a culinary perspective. So I've been going to Searcy for years, and I love it.
You're spot on. And when I said in the intro about have you ever stopped in Searcy or have you just driven by, I've always just driven by. I mean, I've stopped once or twice, and that one time going to Jonesboro with you, I stopped. Yeah. But I just never really thought of Searcy as a place to stop, and I was absolutely wrong. It is a legit food town, which I just was bored by.
Again, I'm going to give credit to Matt Cleveland. He's the one, like 7 or 8 years ago, he's like, you have to come here. I know you don't know me that well. He was following my blog at the time. He's like, you just got to trust me about Wild Sweet William, which we'll get to in a second. And that's what really opened my eyes to the town of Searcy. And then I got on board with Nightfire. And truly, Nightfire is on my Mount Rushmore of barbecue places in this state. It's that good. It's really great.
Well, we do go to Chit Chat and Chew, and Chit Chat and Chew is right there off the courthouse square, and the courthouse, beautiful courthouse. It was luckily for Searcy, and I mean for us being in Searcy, it was a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
So it just popped the whole day. Popped.
We had some good pictures of the Rialto there. That's right on the square, and it was a Chamber of Commerce day, as they say, and Yeah, Chit Chat Chew was just down the block from the Rialto, and we had a nice meal. You got a Monte Cristo sandwich. That was good, man.
Kevin or Ben, have you ever gone to Bennigan's? Remember Bennigan's used to be next to Park Plaza?
I think
Oh.
Ben's too young. For
No,
Bennigan's.
it's where Chipotle is now, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
That was
Yeah.
deep. That was a deep dive. I remember it always being there. I don't know if I ever actually went in.
Ben was probably like 5.
Yeah, it shut down 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean you were a youngin.
And Bennigan's had a Monte Cristo, which I'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
Chit Chat and Chew was a diner.
Yeah.
And it leaned into the diner atmosphere. I mean, if any place that has a jukebox and pictures of Elvis on the wall, I mean, it's aiming for a certain aesthetic, and it was there. The red vinyl booths, you know. I mean, it had that aesthetic, and I thought, okay, it's going to be a diner. It's going to be solid food. That's what I kind of thought. And then I saw the Monte Cristo, and I thought, you know what? When in Rome, get a Monte Cristo. When in Searcy. And I thought, this is the way I've always eaten a Bennigan's Monte Cristo. That's why we bring up Bennigan's. I'd be super excited to have a Monte Cristo. I'd have one bite, maybe 2, maybe 3. Then I thought, oh, this is just too heavy.
Yeah.
I got it, and I thought, same thing. It was really good.
Listen,
solid.
For those who've never had one, it is a ham and cheese sandwich, battered and deep fried, and then you eat it with like jam, usually strawberry jam. Not for everyone, but if you're looking to have a little fun and switch things up, that sweet and salty combination is really amazing. And as I like to say, it's that high risk, high reward menu item. Like, yeah, if it's good, it's great,
Right.
you know, but it can be off too, and then it could be a bad lunch.
Right. And this one had turkey in it.
That one was turkey. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I liked it better, because growing up I'm not a big ham guy.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it was just a turkey and cheese sandwich deep fried.
Yeah.
And they weren't trying to make it anything special. It just was special by itself. And the coating was great. And then I got the sweet potato fries as well.
Those were good. I kept it simple. I did a smash burger. It was excellent. I liked it. We kept the party rolling with the strawberry shortcake. I would say it was a miss. It wasn't even close to what we had at Bulldog, but for research purposes, we ordered it, and they can't all be winners, but I thought we had a good lunch there, and we walked a little bit of the courtyard again, and or the square, and then headed over to one of my favorite bakeries in the state of Arkansas.
Okay.
In Wild Sweet Williams.
This is going to be a whole thing, by the way, about Wild Sweet Williams. Oh, by the way, Ben, onion rings. We had onion rings at Chit Chat and Chew.
Those were good.
Those were solid.
That looked really good in the picture.
And the sweet potato fries came with this marshmallow fluff dipping sauce. It had butter in it. I mean, it was.
You were adamant about me trying.
It was good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat a lot of it because it would clog my heart, but it was really good.
Yeah, you liked it.
It was solid.
Oh.
Ben, have you ever dipped your sweet potato fries into marshmallow butter sauce?
Oh,
I can't say I have.
no, of course he
That's-
hasn't.
No.
Folks, go to Chit Chat and Chew just to have that. You've got to try it at least once. That's all I'm
delicacy.
saying. It's a delicacy.
Yeah.
It really is. Speaking of delicacies, Ben, I'm going to spell out a word for you.
Okay.
I want you to pronounce this word.
No.
Kolachches. How do you pronounce that word?
Kolaches?
Kolaches is correct. Is the correct
Is
answer.
that right? Ding, ding,
I
ding,
think
ding,
it's
ding.
correct. Kevin, however, disagrees. And this is where Wild Sweet Williams comes in. They have kolaches. Kevin, however, says there's a different pronunciation of this.
If you're from the great state of Texas and you call it kolaches, that's what you call it.
Kolaches.
And John, because he's John, well, at first he really thought they were called kolaches.
That's true.
And then he just kept saying it, and I was like, no, they're kolaches. And then once I corrected them, then he really laid into no, I'm going to call them kolaches. And
there they are. There's
so they're
And a cookie. There's a cookie too.
They're a yeasty, soft dough, and usually filled with like a cream cheese filling or fruit. And Wild Sweet Williams, the only place I know of in this state that really does kolaches well, in the right way. They're authentic. This is the place that started it all for me in Searcy. It's where I was telling you where I met Matt Cleveland, and they were at another smaller location just down the block. But So I had to pop in there and let John partake in some kolaches for the. I guess that was your first one, obviously.
The first one that I remember, and
Yeah.
the way I describe it, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's kind of it's a yeast, like you said, a yeast roll with a cream cheese and strawberry or whatever filling. But the dough seems to be slightly undercooked, so it's a little stretchy with some powdered sugar on it.
Yeah.
But done, not undone. And it was great.
And
You're right.
yeasty. Like,
Yeasty.
You could smell it.
Mhm.
That's an intense yeast smell, which I love. It's nostalgic for me. It kind of feels like I'm home. And I'm just so glad we have a place nearby that does it. I mean, like I said, I've been going there for years. They do everything great at Wilds Williams, not just kolaches.
Yeah, you see, I'm in
Got it.
right
No, that
now.
was for you.
Okay.
But they do cookies and they do these little mini cakes, baby cakes, I think they call them. They have a whole line of lunch products, like sandwiches and whatnot. So it's a true restaurant now.
Yeah.
It started as just kind of a bakery only, but that's the place that really started it all for me and my love for the town.
Well, the kolaches, they were good. You walk into that place and it just feels like a place that you can take your mom on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
You can hang out, have a nice lunch.
If you're not in Sonoma.
Yeah, if you're not in Sonoma, taking your wife to California.
Yeah.
But it's very bright. It's very vibrant. They had the salads looked amazing.
Yeah.
It really was. I want to go back to Walt Sweet Williams for sure.
Yeah, Lisa Ford, the owner, does a great job. She has been for a long time, and like I said, it's kind of their pride and joy there. And I'm glad we stayed there for a little bit, and then we walked across the street to the natural food store.
Okay, now the natural food store was a surprise to me. I didn't. Okay, yeah, having a natural food store anywhere in the state, I'm like, okay, who knows what it's going to be. It was really good. The olive oil selection was tremendous. In fact, I have a bottle here. I bought a bottle of what is it called? Squisito, which is sold in other places as well. This one's Tuscan herb infused olive oil, and then I had a cayenne pepper infused olive oil. Then I got a big bottle.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, here's the best part of this. As I'm walking around, Kevin starts to give me grief because I'm just going to walk around and not buy anything at this natural food store. So I took the challenge. I was going to buy something anyway, I think, but I took the challenge and I bought this bottle, another bottle this size, and then a larger bottle. And Kevin buys nothing.
You represented us. You represented us.
And so I go to the front counter and I give her my bottles, and she says she's ringing them up, and I said, Kevin, nothing for you,
Nothing for you.
Okay.
So it's a no, Kevin.
It's absolutely no support for a small business.
I'm the only one doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pretty wild Uno reverse card to shame and then not participate. I kind of dig it.
It's so true. It's exactly what I did.
I look over and all I see is the smile. Like, you just knew. Yep, got me.
And I think you're lying. I don't think you bought a big bottle. You just bought that little one.
No, I bought a little bottle, 2 little bottles, and a big bottle.
Man, I think he scanned the
Well,
store.
the other bottle was so big you just couldn't bring it in.
That's right.
It was a vat.
Ben, he
of
scanned the store.
oil.
He's like, "What's the smallest, cheapest thing I can buy?"
Well, it's even if it was just this, that is how many things more than you bought? Yeah, exactly. One. So,
It's good.
I thought that we're obviously always trying to publicly shame each other.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, the natural food store right next to Wild Sweet Williams was really great, and I would definitely go back because not just the olive oil, but they had a really good selection of natural food. So definitely go back to that one.
Yeah, and it was, as you can tell right now, the day is very food heavy, but we're finally getting to the city side of this podcast.
Yes. We meet with Matt Faulkner, who is a relatively new mayor of Searcy, who I had never met before. I had heard great things about him. I've been to Searcy City Hall before. I walked in, nice place, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. And then he is up there, and he's with the planner. I think I got a picture of Matt. There's Matt Faulkner. I want to emphasize, by the way, growth report. I actually have that growth report right here. And so this is what he was, I guess, on Arkansas Business was touting. And he's back here as well on the back of this growth report. And I brought this, and actually he gave it to me, but I brought it with us today to showcase really what Searcy's really going for lately, which is growth. And a lot of cities are going, every city's going for growth, but you could tell the energy of Matt Faulkner just in the research that I had of him. how he's focused on growth for the city of Searcy. Like I said in the intro, he's focused on making Searcy even more. And it's a fine town as it is. But Matt was there with Richard Stafford, who is from the Houston area, and he is the planner for Searcy and part of all this. And immediately, and while I try not to, Kevin, I do end up geeking out or nerding out with folks. And so this nerd out time is sponsored by the 2025 Arkansas Municipal League Summer Convention, which Ben's going to pop up the ad for. Just a reminder that it's June 18th, 19th, and 20th.
There it is.
At the State House Convention Center, so sign up. But this is brought to you by that because we immediately, Richard and I, went into full nerd mode over planning. Remember this?
I remember it. Do you remember me sitting in silence for like 25, 30 minutes? I was just kind of, I know when he goes into these modes, Ben, and you just got to let them go. Because
you got to let them run their course.
You just let them go. And it is kind of fun to listen to it and not interject at all. I feel like I'm kind of off duty a little bit, and it's nice to just kind of check out and listen to y'all talk and I mean, it is a big component of why we do this podcast. Let's not forget it. We can't talk about fun food all the time. And we're talking about some city stuff, too. So it is important, and you definitely get a vibe that, man, things are happening in Searcy.
Yeah.
And a big part of it is this mayor. Very likable man. I mean, like, my first time meeting him, and he's got a lot of energy, and you can just tell that his personality is just very likable, and I'm sure the town is really embracing him and what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, Richard and the mayor had those planning books that I think I took a picture of as well. They had these in the car, and they said, you probably don't want to see these. Like, yeah, I do. Yeah. So I immediately grabbed them, and I was looking through them the whole time and trying to get some reference points because they were talking about all the infrastructure, the park system, the transportation plan, and I'm thumbing through it, and I'm learning a little bit about Searcy and kind of highlighting or helping. They're highlighting, and I'm knowing a little bit about it. And I will geek out real quick or nerd out about this real quick, but the planning a city is incredibly complex, and there's so many different factors to take into account. Existing property owners, future citizens that you want to attract, business owners, future business owners that are coming in, which way traffic patterns need to go, where the parks need to be, what size parks. I mean, there's just so much that has to be done when it comes to planning. And you got the sense that Mayor Faulkner and Richard, they dove into that aspect and they listened to their citizens and they came up with those plans based on what the citizens wanted because they want to make Searcy a place that people want to live. And I grew up in Conway, which reminds me a lot of Searcy, and I loved growing up in Conway. And it was really inspiring to see the mayor and Richard, for that matter, dive into. And as we drove around, and we had 1 hour, total hour.
That's what I was going to say. We were really short on time with them. We gave them 1 hour, so we got in his truck, and he drove us around, and we got the quick tour of Searcy. And, it reminded me, I know you kept kind of going back to Conway and how it reminded you of like what Conway was 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
But more immediate for us, there were so many elements I saw in like Batesville. I brought up Batesville and like the embracing of parks and recreation and ball fields and I think they're gonna add to like their indoor water facility. So that really seems the direction of these towns that are growing. They want to embrace these outdoor activities, bringing in tournaments, baseball and softball tournaments, and increasing the number of fields they have and things like that.
Hey, Ben, you grew up you grew up in Northwest Arkansas, but you've been here for a while. When you think of Searcy, kind of what's the vibe that you feel, growing up at least? What did you think of Searcy?
Yeah, I again, kind of going back to your intro, it's a place that didn't come across my mind a whole lot. As either like going through to another town, something like that. But, listening to this podcast, which I think is a reaction you're going to get a lot of people like, well, maybe I have overlooked that city. Maybe I haven't really thought about it the way I should. And if you show great food pictures like that. And I'm excited. In my head, I was over here kind of, diligently switching this. But also, I was planning out my next trip to Searcy because it sounds really cool.
You said something right there that I think you're right. I think I'm not gonna say everybody in the state has overlooked Searcy, but I know I certainly have, and you've not. And, but you had help, somebody bringing you closer to it. It really was. I think it's an overlooked part of this state, and it's not that far from Little Rock. It's less than an hour.
No, and I think they're really leaning into food being a draw. I imagine they would like to get, and I think at one time they were trying their hardest to get like a real chef-driven restaurant there, because it is close enough to Little Rock and North Little Rock and Jacksonville and Cabot and all those. And, you know, when you have a downtown that is that vibrant and just beautiful, and people are going to want to spend some time there. And, you know, what better thing to do than hit like what we did, 3 or 4 food places. So I think they are well on their way. But I think food's going to be a big component of all this.
Yeah, the one thing, so we started out and we went back to downtown in the courthouse square, and you and I had just gone around the square to get to chit chat and chew, and the mayor kind of takes us off it a block or two, and they have a pocket park that they put down, which I love pocket parks, first of all. And then across the street from this, or in this area, I forget exactly
That
where.
alley.
The alley.
Yeah, the alley.
What's the alley?
Art alley, the artist alley,
Yeah.
which is only a few years old. I forget how he told us that all came about, but essentially it's this like, you know, fluid art alley that's constantly changing, and they use it for activities, and it's just they weren't really expecting it to be a big draw for downtown, but it has become that, a gathering place, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, Ben, you just have to imagine an alley, right? And on both sides are brick walls that have been fully painted with murals, because I know you love murals, Ben, like we all do. And then, of course, the string lights above. And it was daylight when we went there, but I can imagine, as the mayor described, that you have these events at night where it's just you're sort of milling about, hanging out.
Yeah.
And it was really – and then, by the way, just on the other side of the street is it a burrito store? There's a burrito place.
Burrito Day.
Yeah, there's a burrito day, and then there's another little
ice cream shop. Yeah,
there you go.
There's plenty of stuff
Right there.
Yeah, there's restaurants and all these nice shops, and they just recently had the chocolate gravy festival. So they're trying to do some things, and you know, First Security Bank is there. Excuse me, and they're that beautiful building they have right on the square. So, you know, their fingerprints are all over that town because that's their headquarters. Yeah, I mean, there's some things going on there, and I imagine it's gonna get better, especially with a mayor like this, you know, like that, the one that's wanting progress, and I can tell, like, I just imagine people enjoy working with him.
Yeah, I can imagine too. And Mayor Faulkner was in marketing for a long time. I think he owned his own boutique marketing firm in Searcy, and he was on the board of, I think it was, I forgot what it was called. There's some group that promotes Searcy, inside Searcy, for the festivals, and you can just sense that I talk about mayors in 2 different ways. One, it's the side of the mayor that talks about festivals and getting people together and art walks and, you know, this, that, and the other, food. And there's the mayor that does the infrastructure planning, and, you know, mayors do it together. But that's what I love about that hour that we spent with him, is that he was focused on the food, the art walks, the chocolate gravy festival, but then also understood the nuances and the details necessary to do a real infrastructure plan. And he's really, I get the feeling that his growth for Searcy is focused on people in Searcy and getting people to come to Searcy and live in Searcy, because it's sort of, it's close, but it's also on its own little island.
Yeah.
And it's
well said. Yeah, well said. You're right. It is close, but it's its own thing. And it's not a small town either.
Oh.
By Arkansas standards, it is a sizable city.
It really is.
Yeah.
Another plug, for Convention 91 coming up. Matt Faulkner is actually going to be one of our panelists
That makes sense.
for our Fairs and Festivals breakout session. So, you want to hear from a lot of great minds around Arkansas? Matt's going to be one of them. So
That's why
another plug there.
That's why he's the best producer in the business, right there.
That's it.
Just
That's
those-
right. Yeah,
just
that's right.
those plugs, man. Good
Now-
job, Ben. That was good.
We have just two last things. One, they're both animal related. One is the Lion Center, which is the new.
Is that animal related?
That sound was too. No. It's
Sorry.
the bellowing Shalin.
Yeah.
No, the Lion
Look
Arena.
at that place.
It we did not have time to go in, and I want to go back. This is the new high school gym at Searcy. If you want to get a sense of the progress of Searcy,
Look at that.
It's gorgeous.
That's better than most of the college arenas that we've been
Yeah.
in together.
Right.
I mean, look at that place.
The mayor said that they do obviously the graduations, the basketball games, tournaments, but also the state science fair was there, and like
robotics.
some robotics center. That was it. The robotics
that's
thing.
a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I want to go in next
Yeah.
time. I want to go inside. But it was a beautiful town. And of course, the last animal related thing is the cow. We did take a picture of the cow.
Yeah, you got that, Ben. There's the cow. I mean, is that from when it was the Yarnells there?
I don't know, but this is the old Yarnell's plant,
Yeah.
and they have a cow, which I thought was just interesting that they had a big cow right there next to the
Yeah, you had to take a picture.
Turkey Hill Creamery, though.
Yeah.
It's Turkey Hill, but there's a cow.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
That's like the Chick-fil-A kind of deal, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I imagine people from Searcy that are going to listen to this will tell us why that cow is there. or
I do
has
wanna
been
know.
there.
There you go. It's a challenge.
And what do you do
Tell
with
us
the
about the
cow?
cow.
Because the cow's on wheels.
I imagine that cow has participated in several parades in its day. That's just my guess.
I would just drag it around town
Yeah.
in the mini car.
Yes.
Drag around the cow.
Going back to the mini, I like the callback mini car. Man, that mini car, when you see that rolling down the street, that guy, whoever he was, an old man, he was so proud. He
Hang
was
on.
so proud. There's got
Look
to
at
be
it.
a story there.
Yeah.
Man.
American flags in the back too.
Is it a three-wheeler or?
No,
No,
it's
it's
a,
four.
It's,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's
an
basically
illusion.
a souped up golf cart.
Yeah.
And John hit the back side there of it, and I think the man's okay.
Yeah, he's
I
fine.
mean,
He's fine.
it wasn't like an emergency room visit.
Yeah,
you know,
No.
nothing
Yeah.
bad.
I did
but-
not hit the car, just for the record, just
Yeah.
in case years past we see this. No, it was. But Searcy, as we close this out, Searcy was. It was nice.
Yeah.
I really like being there. And by the way, we didn't even mention Harding. The way that they're trying to merge the beautiful college campus of Harding University in with downtown, and Harding is sort of growing towards downtown and
kinda
downtown,
connecting the two.
right?
Yeah.
And once that happens, because Harding is really right there, it's
Yeah.
not far away at all. I mean, it's really, I see a lot of progress coming for Searcy and a lot of positive stuff. And boy, if y'all live in Searcy, whoever's listening that lives in Searcy, y'all are lucky because it's a fine town. And if you want to move to Searcy, you'll be lucky too. It is a great place to live and a great place to visit. So
Yeah.
I encourage you all to go there because there's something there. And but yeah, I want to go to Searcy again, Kevin. I want to take you and show me around more.
Barbecue
Barbecue, that's right.
when it's open.
Ben barbecue. Ben's
All right,
Kevin's
let's
taking us
do
to,
it. I'm in.
Searcy for barbecue. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for listening about Searcy because, well, there's something there. Take care, everybody. God bless.